Hello. This is test 42 from the future, an experimental podcast from the year 2222, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. So for those who have been listening to our podcast for a while, you know we always speak about the technology in our time. We spoke about lenses and teleporters, and we have a lot of cool, interesting things that we can still talk about. But Simon and I were talking before, and we thought, how about we do one episode, anti-tech episode?
Not anti-tech like against technology, like burn it all down, but one absent of technology.
Yeah. And I think we've mentioned the down-to-earth camps that I used to go to with the Ethics Council. We stopped doing them, but they are still quite popular, and I thought we can speak about those a little bit more, just as a gesture to you, the listeners, from 200 years ago, that there are initiatives here where people try to live like you guys are.
Yeah.
But maybe before we get into that, we mention the email address one more time.
Yep, so the email address is michaellasagna5@gmail.com. And if you are hearing this episode, please write to that address with the episode 42 in the subject.
Yep.
That way we can confirm that we're still getting back to the past successfully.
And you guys are doing this, so thanks a lot for that.
I guess it's... we always mention it because for new listeners, yeah. But sure, if you're listening to this regularly, you know that that's what we want you to do.
And there's a few of you that have been sending several emails already with questions and ideas, so thanks a lot for that. We can't really answer all the emails on air, but we will still try to answer at least one an episode. So the down-to-earth camps, maybe I illustrate a little bit what they are.
Yeah, we did speak about them briefly before, but yeah, please, some more detail.
It's basically... technology is getting better and more advanced, and there's people that sometimes go somewhere and try to do without as much technology as possible, just to kind of get back to nature, to life as it originally was. It's basically just getting the hose and cleaning everything out, just have a fresh start. It's supposed to be healthy. In reality, in my experience, it's mostly annoying. Because
some people, my understanding is they do it so that they can appreciate our modern luxuries or just our modern life, that they can appreciate it more. Yeah. That by living without it for some days, when they then get it back, okay, maybe it annoys them in some ways, but they also appreciate all the things it does do for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. For me, an hour would already help appreciate things. Yeah. Just go in the garden and look at the sky and then appreciate all the stuff that you have inside. With the Ethics Council, we always deal with the non-technology topics mostly. Doesn't mean that we lead non-technology lives. So I thought those camps were not really essential, but that was part of the procedure back then.
So there are far fewer of them now than there used to be.
I mean, we don't go on them anymore, but I think they're still, they're still popular.
Okay.
I know Theo goes to them twice a year. So, have you ever gone on them?
I have never gone. They do not appeal. So the camp itself might be interesting, but what doesn't appeal is not having access to the things I'm used to having access to.
What do you know about them?
From what you've told me and from what I've read and heard, to go to them, you can't just teleport directly to them. You need to teleport to some places nearby, at which point you must either not take with you, or if you have taken any tech with you, leave it there, and then walk from there to the camp. And the whole point is you don't have any tech with you while you're there. You live like people used to, presumably, before all this tech existed. And depending on how strict you are, you don't cheat. Yeah, you don't take with you some secret tech. Yeah. And if you're less strict, you do.
It's the walking and the leaving as much tech behind as possible. So you also take out your lenses, and everything that can be switched off or deactivated is
Right. Your Jones you can't take out, but you can deactivate it.
Yeah, and also your PA doesn't reach you there because there's basically no technology where it picks up. There's usually
reception.
Yeah, exactly. There's usually a reception area where there is some, emergency technology available.
Yeah.
Where, okay, if you really need to, you want to check if you still have lettuce in the fridge, you can do it from there.
That is important. You don't want it to go all wilted.
No, and also if you come back from the camp, I mean, the one thing is you do eat healthy. So
while you're there.
The food doesn't come from a Congo. It's actual real food.
Made of mud, coming out of the ground.
It's basically you go out and hunt or collect, and a lot of time in those camps is spent feeding.
Just gathering the food and preparing the food.
Exactly, finding it, cleaning it, preparing it, all stuff. And
so do you not? What? Yeah, right. If that takes up so much of the day, is that basically all you're doing?
Not basically, not all you're doing, but it's a big part. You sleep, which is a whole different story how that's happening, and then you eat is basically as if eating and sleeping is the central part of your life. And the little bit of time that you spend not eating or sleeping, it's basically you spend talking, integrating with the others.
Yeah.
And because it's a shared experience, it's for bonding and blah, 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 blah. And basically every morning as you get up, you're hungry, there is no food, everybody gets off into the forest. And
you don't, like, the first day you're there, collect enough food to last you the rest of your time there?
No, because it doesn't last.
Ah.
Like you collect it, and next day it's gone. I to be honest, I don't know.
It's gone. Like, I understand food would go off, but it's removed.
No, gone off.
Gone off. Okay. Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm not really sure how fast it goes off.
Okay. But I guess people don't want to take any chances. Yeah, you picked a fruit yesterday to have for dinner. Probably it's gone off by the morning because with a Congo you make your meal, you eat it, and any scraps you just throw straight away. You don't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't keep them around for the next day. So it makes sense that people throw away the bad fruit that they just picked the night before. Okay, and then they need to get fresh fruit for breakfast.
I always thought that was the reason, but that's just me guessing. Maybe there's a different reason. Maybe because the whole experience is the point that you can actually collect maybe food for a week. Put in a lot of effort one day and then relax for 6 more days.
Yeah.
Huh.
Especially some, depending on what kind of meals you want to make, some food does need to be fresh, but other food can be older.
Yeah. See, I haven't really thought about that.
Right, you've not. Has it been a while since you last went?
Yeah, and also I cheated usually when we went off in the morning to go find fruit. They all went hunting for apples or whatever they were doing. I just said, oh yeah, I'll go off in this direction, and I would just go. It's a bit of a hike to the nearest teleporter, teleport back home, get some apples, teleport back, or actually eat at home and then come back, say I'm not hungry.
I mean, for yourself, that I presume worked out. Did the other people not wonder why you didn't bring them food? Like stuff you'd found, I mean? I guess they just accepted, hey, this guy isn't so good at finding fruit. Or I keep saying fruit, but vegetables, whatever.
I would... because I did bring back, wasn't apples, but then they picked through it. Because it's like, this is made by a Congo, you can taste it. Or apparently you can taste it, I can't.
No.
But there's another good question. So it's been a few years that I went to those camps.
If I remember right, like you grew up going there, like as a child with your family, and then with work for a bit, but then your work stopped, and so that's why you've not been in a while.
Yeah, I mean, like Theo he's a non-tech guy. It's not like he doesn't understand. He just doesn't like it. So he goes to those camps, and he speaks about them sometimes. But
are there people? So I understand the down-to-earth camps. The appeal, like for team building or just as like twice a year thing. It's not your usual life. It's a different thing from your usual life. Do you know anyone who wants to or does live that way all the time, or as much of the time as possible?
Yeah, they're like some of those camp areas are really big, and there's people. Basically, the people that work there are there permanently.
Right, and they're working there, so they can live that way more easily.
But you can do your sabbatical there. You know, you could have done your sabbatical there.
Right, because I didn't need access to the things I normally need, like the computers and so on for my work. The point of being on sabbatical is you don't do your regular work. So
just another 10 years on a down-to-earth camp. I mean, I already have...
Especially once my wings are fully grown in.
That's a good point. Like, because that's a pretty new development. I wonder what they do about that, because it's strictly speaking not technology, but it's produced by technology.
Like maybe so I wouldn't go there now then, because my wings are growing, and maybe if I go there I have to switch it off or remove it, and then my wings would go on pause. But once they're grown, they stick around, barring me removing them.
Then it's kind of natural. So it's not technology anymore.
At least it's not the kind of technology that can be removed. I can find out before going there how strict they are, Like, are they like, hey, you can only come here if you haven't done that kind of stuff to your body?
I mean, but they're super flexible, It's like because they know...
they want more people to go. They're not trying to be exclusive.
But you have sabbatical areas. But I mean, there's camps really all over the world. So it's also a really nice opportunity to experience Australia or Guatemala or Georgia. So because you were asking before... Georgia was always really... That was, I think, one of the most extreme down-to-earth camps that I've been to.
Extreme in what way?
It's called Mount Casbah. It's a really tall mountain in Georgia. And the camp is halfway up the mountain. So the views are amazing, but it's also...
But then when you teleport, so you have to teleport somewhere nearby, do you then climb down the mountain to get to it, or do you climb up the mountain to get to it?
It's sideways.
Okay, yeah, that's easy.
Because it's still a bit of a strenuous hike, but it's definitely doable. But the whole mountain definitely plays into the camp, because if you go searching for stuff, you have to go up or down. But the teleporter location, I remember from the park, from the camp entrance, wasn't that far.
Okay.
You know what we could do?
What could we do?
We could go there.
Right now?
Right now. Live on the podcast.
We can do. What time is it there now?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out when we get there.
Shall we try? We haven't tried actually podcasting on location, taking the recording device with us.
I mean, it should be fine. It's portable, so yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay, cool. Then
let me just check the battery. Yeah, we got loads left.
Nice. Then let's go. I'm not sure. Does your teleporter fit 2 people?
We'll find out. That way we can keep speaking the whole time, rather than like taking a little break as we go through one at a time.
Okay. It seems...
it's a bit cramped.
It seems to fit.
Yep, I think so.
Then Mount Casbah. Let me get the geo coordinates.
Yeah, you can enter that in.
Okay. Then let's press the button.
Yep. Oh, there we are.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, just get out of there.
Wow. Okay. It's dark.
It's definitely night.
You see, there's no lights, and oh man, it's raining.
It's not so nice. We didn't really come prepared for rain. Like I didn't bring my umbrella or my coat.
Wind.
It's pretty fresh. I mean, I feel invigorated.
I'm already soaked.
Oh dear.
So this is a down-to-earth camp.
Right, and we can't just switch on our anti-rain force fields to reflect the rain off our bodies.
It's like the only piece of tech here is a teleporter that is just behind us.
Right. Should we go back?
Let's go back.
Okay. Come back again. We can come back here again another time when we've got the...
During the day.
Let's check the weather and the time. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, so back to Frankfurt.
Yep. Let's go back there now. You're putting in the coordinates for... Well, I can put them in, for my own house. There we go.
Okay. So that was our first...
on podcast.
On location.
Yeah. Bit more preparation next time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice to do it spontaneously. Got us out there real quick, but sure, we didn't know it was raining.
But it was also super quick. So there was absolutely there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I guess they were asleep. If there were people, like, surely they weren't there where we were because they were in bed.
But there was obviously no waiting line, no network connections.
Sure, no, yeah.
It was actually pretty smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in general, Georgia is a pretty modern country. They just have a really nice countryside where you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked. I mean, we have to check the recording later. But I think maybe your voices get all scattered,
maybe all blocky.
But I still have a slight pixelation view now still.
Sure, yeah.
Although we were there really short, but I guess it's the actual transport.
It's back and forth.
Okay. Maybe that was, I think, enough about Down to Earth camps. If you have any questions about this, or actually, it's basically the Down to Earth camps are living like they did, or listeners are living.
I mean, that's the idea. Yeah. Different Down to Earth camps will specialize in certain periods, but the majority of them tend to be set late 20th, early 21st century.
But maybe our listeners can give us some tips how to get food in these Down to Earth camps. So how do you get? Like,
we know you hunted for fruit and vegetables with bow and arrows. We know that part, but what else did you do? And how else did you get food? Like, where did you find cheese?
Yeah.
I've never been, but you mentioned before you never did find a tree that had cheese growing on it, right?
No. It's basically fruits and vegetables. That was it. Yeah. And like the food that comes out of the Congo, spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
Like
mozzarella.
Like maybe they didn't have spaghetti back then. Maybe
it's possible. Maybe that's something only possible with the Congo.
Or tiramisu.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have like tiramisu for breakfast every day.
Sure.
Down to Earth camps. I have no clue how. Does it even grow on trees?
Or maybe bushes, maybe underground.
There's all kinds of stuff in there. Yeah, I don't know. But it was mostly fruit and vegetables. So maybe our listeners, maybe they can teach us something.
Right, you can let us know what food you did have back then. Did you just eat fruit and vegetables? That's all you had? Or were there other things you were able to eat?
Yeah, and how did you do that? So where did you find it? How did you prepare it?
Yeah.
Was it any good?
Yeah. If you got a tiramisu, if you dug up a tiramisu in the evening, like for dinner, did you have to throw it away, because it would be bad by breakfast the next day,
Yeah. I mean, I would love to know that. Like, where did you get this? Where did you guys?
Yeah. Especially if there's like a particular region where, the best tiramisu can be dug up. Yeah. Let us know where that is.
Exactly.
We can go visit it too, maybe.
And also, is it still good the next day? I think that's a very relevant question. Actually, is it still good a week later? Oh, wow. Because then, if I ever go back to these camps, I would just go day one, find as much tiramisu as possible, and then relax the rest of the week.
That would be, okay. But you were saying how most of your time there was spent basically sorting out food. Mm-hmm. If you're not doing that, then you'll find out what else do you do without technology. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. You probably will be super bored.
You won't have your normal things. Maybe there's more exciting, other interesting things to do.
Maybe that's what our listeners can tell us well.
Yeah, in the past, as well as foraging for food, what else did you do?
Exactly. What did you do when you weren't eating or sleeping?
Or finding things to eat or sleep.
Or listening to great podcasts.
Mm. I guess they listen to the podcast while they're looking for the food.
Fair enough. Yeah, we would love to hear about this. We also have a user question that I thought was quite interesting. So if there's still time, I would like to...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's check the time. Yeah, we still got a few minutes.
It's from Israel this time. Mm-hmm. It's from Gein Sagif. And he or she asks, can you get an alien on the show? And I thought that was a really interesting question.
Yeah, and then you work with aliens, so you'd be the one to answer that.
Yeah, I think... I could definitely... ask.
Mm-hmm. Do any of your colleagues know that we have this podcast?
No, nobody does.
How do you think they would? But would they be interested? Do you know any who you think would be interested as being a guest?
If any departments, I think the Illuminati would definitely not do this. Mm-hmm. They would just. It would. They're also not. They're super interesting as a race or a species. But not really good with conversation.
Sure, and we are the audio thing.
Yeah. What would you think?
So I like the idea. I couldn't really think of what I would ask them, but maybe people in the past who are hearing this, presumably they're the ones who want to know this stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this now and if you have questions that you would like answered by an alien, please send them to us at michaellasagna5@gmail.com with the episode 41 is the title. 42, sorry, got mixed up.
And also, if you specify which race, I think we spoke about them in episode 38. There's two races that we actually are physically in touch with. It's the Parsians and the Illuminati. If you want to know more, just listen to that episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's at least one more species, but we didn't contact those.
You don't work with
the bullies.
You wouldn't be able to get one of those.
No, I mean none of us has ever managed to contact them. So it's basically the Parsians or the Illuminati or us. Like for them, we are aliens. So if you have questions to us,
right, yeah, you want to. Hey, you guys want? We can get an alien to interview us. They'll presumably have questions that you in the past and us in our present wouldn't come up.
But hold on, like if they speak, thanks to their technology, we can understand them through our origins. Right. They can understand us, but if they speak, it gets
we'll get picked up in the audio recording.
That's just the original Parsians speak. I'm not sure. I mean, it could still be interesting, but
we'll find out.
You would have no idea to follow the conversation. I think it could work. Mm-hmm. I think it could work. So send us your questions.
Your regular questions for us about tech and your questions for aliens.
Yeah, and then maybe we get one on the show. Mm-hmm. I think it's a really good idea. Thanks for the idea, Guy. Okay, I would say that is our episode for this week.
I agree.
Thanks for listening, and see you in 200 years.
Goodbye.